Hey, thanks for joining me. This is part 3 of my Overwatch characters intros. We are now looking at Reinhardt. Now, Reinhardt is one of the tanks, and this series is all about the tanks. Or this section of videos is all about the tanks. Let's have a quick look at his abilities. He's got a hammer, so your primary attack is with the rocket hammer, which looks a bit like this. Now this is pretty cool because if I hit something, so he swings it to his left and he swings it to his right on the return, and as he swings, your enemies basically get knocked around. So hopefully you can knock them into a group together and then you can batter them a bit more and do lots of damage to them. Kind of a neat ability. Again, it's only melee because he's a tank, but it's still pretty cool. We'll come back to his ultimate in a little bit. His right mouse button gives you a barrier field, so this is effectively his alternate attack. Now this is pretty cool. Let's come down here to where these guys are. So you can see we've got a little health banner at the top there. You start off with 2,000 health. You can also see it in the bottom left next to the ultimate. And you block all shots coming through. There are some characters that can still shoot through this. I think it's Rio's one, and possibly Symmetra is another one that springs to mind. But pretty much everyone else, even Junkrat shots and Farah's missiles, and anyone like Soldier 76, whoever who just fires shots, they all get absorbed by this shield. Once you lose 50% of the shield, you get cracks appearing. So it's a visible cue to your opponents that your shield is starting to buckle. Now the shield will not recharge whilst you are holding it up. If we just disengage now, the shield takes a few seconds and it starts to recharge pretty quickly, but there is a very short period of time there where it will not recharge until because it's not up, so you have to wait there a few seconds, then it recharges. Then we also have another ability, which is your charge ability on your left shift. The charge is pretty handy for getting you up close and personal to a target, but also, and I'm trying to get a decent line up here. If you hit a opponent with the charge ability, you basically you can pin them to a wall, and that allows you to do extra damage to them when you slam them into the wall. And here we go. There we go, killing that one. And the other training block got thrown away there. Now, because I'd already hit one target, that was my target who was effectively stuck in my shoulder barge until I hit a solid object such as a wall. Any other targets that you hit will take a small amount of damage and get knocked back, which is quite good in this respect because it sends the trainer robot flying over the edge of the map. But that would have then brought me in close range, and then I could have come in with my hammer, done some damage. You can see these guys they're getting knocked about a little bit. So they're getting a little bit of disruption. This guy's getting away from me. Okay, and our next skill is the Fire Strike ability. Now this is a ranged ability. This is your only ranged ability. As you can see there, it does quite a bit of damage. Has 5 seconds of recharge time there. Now obviously you can't use your barrier or anything else whilst you're using it. Now somehow I managed to miss that because it's very... There we go. I was obviously aiming far too low because it is very directional weapon. But that can help you out if you've got a target that is being ranged, or even if you've got like a sniper or something high up, you can hurtle off a shot there and do some damage to them, which might dissuade them from trying to shoot you or your colleagues whilst you're fighting. And so that just kind of leaves us with the ultimate ability. Now the ulti knocks everybody down, basically stunning them, and then you can come in and you can take them out. And that's it. That's nothing more complicated than that really for the ultimate. It is just that that knockdown. So that's all of his abilities. Now, who is Reinhardt good against? Reinhardt is probably best against anybody that is going to be shooting you with some kind of bullet ranged weapon. So I think we've already mentioned that Pharah's missiles are it can be blocked as you can angle your shield up to block them. However, you're not particularly effective against Pharah because Pharah has the well, most characters actually have the mobility advantage over you, and Pharah also has the flight advantage, so you actually need to watch out for Pharah. She can be a bit of a problem for you. You also want to watch out for people like Reaper. He will try to come around behind you and he will kill you very quickly. Same as Reaper is with Roadhog really. He's same sort of problem. He makes a big target which is nice and easy for Reaper to hit and to kill. Speaking of Roadhog, is Roadhog an issue for you? I wouldn't... difficult one. Your shield does deflect his hook and his shotgun blasts. But he's going to try and keep a bit of range on you, and he's just as tanky as you are, so that's a difficult one. I would probably try and avoid a Roadhog. Again, also I would also try and avoid Junkrat as well. Not because he's particularly a problem for you in regards of his health and damage output, but if you are, for example, near a wall like so, and you've got the wall behind you, Junkrat can bounce his bombs over your shield and off that wall. So if his bombs hit your shield, they will explode. If they pass over your shield, hit the wall and bounce back, then he will be able to kill you because he's going to be doing damage to you and not your shield. So you're going to have to watch out for him, and that is one of my favourite tricks with Junkrat for taking out a Reinhardt that's causing a problem. Also, Junkrat's mine, if that is set off in front of your shield, not such a big issue. If it's behind your shield, then you can be sent flying through the air, off of the payload or off of the capture point, and that is a disruption for you again. Plus you'll take quite a bit of damage. So I know I started off saying characters that you were strong against, and I ended up going against characters that you were bad against. We're probably looking at see, Soldier 76 is probably not going to be able to do much against you. The Widowmaker is not going to be able to do much against you either. They're basically just going to keep pinging shots off your shield and not actually able to damage you. Who else? Just thinking, Bastion is going to eat your shield alive because he's just going to unload into the shield. You have got an advantage where you can ranged attack him, like so, but your ranged attack versus the amount of damage that he's going to do in such a short period of time, I would almost put Bastion in a character to watch out for rather than a character you're good against. I don't think who else you could be actually good against. Let's see. I can't think of any that spring to mind. Any that you're particularly effective against. Anyone that has to get in close to you, really, is probably in for a bit of trouble. Maybe Genji, because Genji's not going to be able to reflect any of your attacks except for possibly your ranged attack. But up close and personal, you're just going to stove his head in with the hammer, which is the right thing to do with a Genji, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, that's it. So that's Reinhardt, really. That's one of my favourite characters, and you're going to see me playing him in probably a mediocre match in the next section. So here we go for a Reinhardt random match. Now we don't get off to a particularly good start here because May pops her ice wall straight in front of the exit. So I decide to pop off to the side. Winston's up above, as are some of the others. So I'm making my way down the side here. And I'm just trying to disrupt and get in the way. Try to pin Roadhog and unfortunately miss. Decide to follow through because, well, why not? I'm kind of committed at this point. At which point, practically their entire team follows us up the stairs and I get absolutely slaughtered. Not a great start really, but yeah, maybe a sign of how things are going to carry on. Try to get Reinhardt, Roadhog again even, and he manages to dodge out of the way. I do hit him with my ranged attack, but unfortunately May is demonstrating how much of a disruption she can be to some tanks and keeps on freezing me. Which obviously allowed Roadhog to finish me off. So out we go again. Really is not the best start at all. Pop a ranged attack there, but that didn't really do much to help us. So I managed to catch Lucio off the hop there, pin him and kill him, so now we're on the point. Get the drop on Roadhog as he comes in. Farah finishes him off with his ultimate. And now we're just literally sitting on the capture point with the shield up to provide some defence. Mercy's doing a good job of healing. Try to take out May though, obviously because she kills our ally, but she's managed to get ultimate off unfortunately, so I'm kind of frozen a bit. Tried to get in here to take out McCree and Junkrat, but Junkrat has just literally unloaded everything that he's got, and I ended up dead. Junkrat died because of that as well, but he just unloaded everything he had. So back onto Roadhog again, and now I'm going to get the payload on this on the Rove. So camp up on the front of the payload, shield up. Let's get moving. Now my allies are able to hide behind my shield, and they can just pop off a few shots, and they're not going to take any damage. And there's no enemies around mysteriously at the moment. Oh, look, there we go. May suddenly arrives. Interestingly, the car manages to fit through this tiny little gap in May's wall, whereas we struggle to fit through. Try to get in there again and May's up with our wall. She tends to do that a lot. So I tried to use my charge ability there and basically ended up missing any opponents. So I'm now going to try and work my way around behind. Pop my ranged ability, managed to get a shot off there, killing I think Reaper. Junkrat comes in and starts throwing his shots around. Mercy turns up with a perfectly timed heal, so we get Junkrat finished, and we can get back on the payload again. Here comes Farah with her ranged missile attacks, so we're shielded up here. Lucio's trying to cause a bit of grief. Well, I managed to shield a fair amount of Reaper's attack there, but unfortunately he ultimately went through the shield. Not sure how May managed to get the kill, but I think I really should have got a Reaper there. We put in most of the effort. So the slow trudge brings back to the payload. Just checking on my allies. We've got Mercy with us. And there goes the ranged attack, and now we're just going to push in with the shield. Again, we made a complete mess out of using the charge ability. Junkrat's ultimate's on its way in. Managed to get my shield up just in time. I got a bit of knockback off the shield, but it kind of works. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. I tried to charge, and for some reason it didn't happen. Thinking that maybe I got flashbanged by McCree, but things just didn't kind of go well. So I tried to take my frustrations out on a fire extinguisher, because, you know, fuck it, fire extinguisher.
Keep pushing forward.
This is certainly not my best game as a Reinhardt, that's to be sure. I'm going to try and go around the back a little bit. Junkrat's being a problem as usual. So I managed to get a good stun on there. Unfortunately, Lucio drops his ultimate at the same time as I stun everybody. So I can't get any kills, so I now need to kind of back out of it. Try to get some health. Unfortunately, I've got them behind me and in front of me, so not much I can do, otherwise try and angle my shield. Trying to push McCree back and get back to the payload. Travis Farah with her ultimate. I tried to shield as much of it as I can, but unfortunately some of it manages to get through. That we managed to kill Farah, but Reaper catches us off guard, so that's where Reaper really is a problem, especially when he gets behind your shield. It didn't take him long to take me out there actually, only a few shots. So we're back on the payload. Torbjorn's turret's up there, so we'll pop it with a ranged attack. We'll just let it slowly do some damage to our shields. It's not really an issue. So now the shield's starting to take a bit of a pounding, because I think there's a Farah over there. So we'll try to go around a little bit. Ultimate's now ready. I don't see Reaper there to the right, unfortunately. And I let him get the advantage of me. I should have, unfortunately, paid more attention to him, but I was more interested in the rest of the enemy team which are up top. So that's my own fault there for not being observant enough during a match.
The payload is approaching its destination.
So we're almost there with the payload though, so that's okay.
Took you long enough.
Looking for enemies, there we go. Shields goes up. McCree's somewhere with his high noon. There he is, he was behind me all the time. Mercy comes in with their res, which actually scores us the victory. But that was a perfectly timed res from Mercy there. Very well played from Mercy indeed. Hopefully she gets to play the game, let's see. No, Junkrat gets to play the game. Oh well.